All right, Steve, this week we're going with a recommend or don't recommend on The Protagonist EX-1, which is available on Steam for $13.
So the plan was to send out a distress beacon near Anamon far orbit and wait for the aliens to tow us in for study. We've determined they seem to prefer capture over killing whenever possible. So, how did I end up here?
So, man, what did you think of this turn-based RPG strategy game, man? Because I've had a lot of experience with this genre, and this one kind of reminds me of more of a Dread Nautical approach as opposed to like an XCOM or a Gears Tactics approach.
So I was kind of looking forward to playing it. I'm very open-minded to try any different type of game. So when we start off on the space station, and you have to find out why you're there, and then you have to investigate why it's threatening your planet Terra. So the game itself is you play Angel, and it's actually point and click, move your cursor, left click, and the character moves to that position. A lot of the doors you find might be locked, or there's a code to unlock it, and you have to play a couple of puzzles to unlock the doors. And it could be moving around on door switches to open doors or defeat certain enemy. But you also have some help as well. A character called Pilot, that is a voice in your ear that tries to help and guide you.
Yeah, and Steve, with this voice, he's actually not a voice, which is kind of funny because half the game you're actually involved with real voiceovers, but then all of a sudden this character Pilot, who's talking in your ear, is not talking. So that was a bit of a disconnect for me. And another thing too, man, is while you're playing the game and doing these puzzles, you can't really move your camera. You can rotate it to kind of help yourself move some of these, this battery from this location to the other. But it was kind of frustrating, honestly, a lot of the time to not just be able to simply pan my camera over and then just simply drag it. Because I don't know, like you said, it's point and click. It's not like a lot of these other games where you have a more of a top-down perspective. So yes. I didn't like that as much, I'd say.
So to move the objects, you have to move your mouse over the object, left click it to pick it up, to move over the switch to open the doors. I do find that a lot of the doors are already locked, so you have to progress further in the game, and I'm assuming you'll have to go all the way back to explore other areas. The other thing as well is you do have weapons as well. You start off just bare-fisted, didn't you?
Yeah, man.
So that's all you have for fighting, and then the first thing you come across is a drone. And then it'll give you a slight tutorial how to fight the drone.
And man, getting into the combat, that's where this game is different. And that's why I'm going to lean more to the recommend, because it is different, but I just got a little frustrated with it. So, like most games, when you enter a combat into these turn-based style, you are allotted a certain amount of action points. But unlike other games, this one, you have movement, and it costs 1 action point, but you're only allowed to move up to like 4 spaces around. So once you do that, you are then stuck with about 4 action points. Starting the game anyways, you start with 5. So then you either have to shoot if you once you finally pick up a weapon, or just end your turn. So it's strange because it's 1 action point to move, and then that's all you can do for your turn. You're stuck either using a couple of your abilities, which is like overload or hack, and I don't know, man. It just made everything take way longer. I don't understand why they would go this way. And another thing too, the hand-to-hand combat cost MP versus AP, so you can do these combos and use up your MP as well as using action points. I found it was so overly complicated for no real reason.
Yeah, I did have some slight trouble with the points on the melee attacks, because you get, I think it's punch, kick, elbow, and knee. And when you click on each one, it will give you like different levels or power, and then you have to drag it into like make in this combat tree, I guess, like your combination moves. You can link combination moves together, like you can punch and you can kick to get extra points. But I had a lot of issues with, I kept putting more moves in there than what I was allowed to because I exceeded the points. So you end up just doing like a one punch and it could be a miss.
Dude, it was strange. They show 3 slots and they provide all these different moves that have different levels. Again, they don't really explain all of it. So you try to combo together, you can put only 2. I tried every combination of everything, and I can only put 2 moves, and then I do a punch kick, and it's a miss, or a 1 damage, 1 damage. So I'm like, well, it's just, again, overly drawn out for no reason. But then once you get further into it, man, I leveled up my characters and their skill points, which is really cool, and I enjoy. But I maxed out my pistols and my melee with the 2 different characters that you have near the beginning. And man, I missed 6 times in a row just to get killed from these drones and have to restart. And it's nothing I could do, man. They were 1 space away. And I missed, and then I missed, and then they shoot at me, and then my character dies, which your characters die really fast in this. If they get hit twice, I'm playing on normal, they're done. Yes, they do revive if you survive the attack, which is nice. But still, it's just, man, I don't know. There's just not enough strategy involved or available while you're doing your battles. It's like there's no cover system. It's really just walk up to them, punch, or shoot, or hack. Which was why I'm kind of like, I don't know. But again, this is early access. They have some things to adjust. So maybe in the full release game, we will for sure see new missions and new characters and new creatures, because you know, again, in this, there wasn't a lot of variety.
Yes, I think we should do a recommend and not recommend.
All right, Steve. So as you can tell, I'm a little different. I'm gonna have to actually go though with a recommend. I have been complaining a lot about it, but I do think the graphics are great. The voiceovers when they're there are pretty cool. The characters are cool. And the combat, I'm not fully sold on it, but I think if maybe with a little more polish, this could be something, you know, of great value for only $13. What about you, man?
Well, like you, Nate, I love the graphical style of it. I like the music as well when it gets intense, when it gets into the battle mode. I did find the battle cumbersome, like on the picking the points and what moves to do, but I did like the close-up of the cutscene when you actually perform the battle. I'm hoping to see a little bit more than just drones, because I just find it a little bit more repetitive. It'd be different if there's different machines or robots or something else to battle against, but the platform and the idea of everything I do like, and the storyline, so I'm going to give this a recommend as well. The music, the story and the style of graphics really suit this point-and-click sci-fi game. Unfortunately, the same enemies and awkward combat scheme made it frustrating at times. The Protagonist EX-1 is still in early access and is a recommend.